Let's talk about the cost of living in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm David Crum, and I'm using several national websites such as payscale.com, bestplaces.com, AAA, and the U.S. government's Bureau of Labor Statistics to talk about the cost of living in our area. If you're considering a move to the Upstate, I would love to help. Reach out to me at any of the contacts in the description. Let's get to the cost of living in our great city. According to payscale.com and bestplaces.com, Greenville ranks about 10% below the national average in cost of living. First, let's look at the numbers presented by bestplaces.com. The chart here shows Greenville's overall ranking to be 88.7, or about 11% below the national cost of living, which is indexed here at 100. You can see that the cost of living here is slightly under the average for South Carolina, but this can be misleading. Chart here of South Carolina's counties by cost of living shows that Greenville is in the higher half of the state, but only manages to be under average due to the much higher cost of living on the coast and beach areas like Charleston, Hilton Head, Myrtle Beach, and others. Much of the higher cost there is the cost of real estate, the price to be near the beach. There are other factors, but let's get back to Greenville. Our cost of living for transportation is a big factor in our lower costs. As you can see on this chart from AAA, the gas prices in South Carolina are very low comparatively. Our current average is $3.28 per gallon of regular unleaded. Proximity to gas refineries and lower state taxes keeps South Carolina's gas prices generally near the bottom of the country. At this time, only Georgia and Texas had lower average fuel prices by state. There is not a lot of public transportation in Greenville, but GreenLink, the bus system, does service some of our area, as shown in this map. Despite most workers relying on cars, the average commute in the Greenville area is 19 minutes. This can really affect where you might want to live if you're moving to the area. I've had clients asking to be within 90 minutes of downtown that needed to really readjust expectations after learning that this would put you almost in Columbia or Charlotte. If you're moving to Greenville and don't want to be completely isolated in the country, you can expect to be about 30 minutes or less from town. Healthcare, utilities, and food are all also lower than national average for costs in the Greenville area. I was frankly surprised to see food being 99.7 here on this chart. We can see the cost of living for food is 3% less than national averages, giving Greenville a 97. This is closer to the truth in my experience. I will say that people in Greenville do tend to eat out more, spending their food dollars in restaurants. Last year, Greenville ranked number 1 in restaurants per capita with 750 restaurants per 700,000 residents. Another factor of cost of living I haven't seen mentioned nationally is property taxes. Most movers from out of state find our rates much cheaper than their expectations. Make sure to ask about property taxes. This could let you get more house since that part of your home expenses will likely drop moving here from the northeast or southwest. Taxes are only one thing that many comparison sites exclude, so make sure you're considering everything when considering where to live. Not only property taxes, but sales tax and income tax, assuming that will be a factor. Comparing several site locations for housing costs in Greenville, I'm finding too much disparity in reporting. Best Places has the median home at about $234,000, while Payscale puts it at $280,000. Realtor.com has it at $323,000. And I can tell you, if you're moving to the area and looking for a home at around $200,000 in great condition and near the city, you're about 5 or 10 years too late. Expect to be over $300,000 if you're looking for all the bells and whistles. While some of these sites seem to be off on what it costs to purchase a home in an area, they do seem to be consistent across different cities. I believe their comparison percentages work even if the numbers are off. If you'd like a deep dive on local numbers, you can check out the stats page of my website for weekly updates each Wednesday. There, I post my spreadsheet like this one of weekly numbers and some commentary on what's changing in our greater Greenville MLS. Let's take a look at how Greenville compares to a couple other nearby cities. Here, Greenville is compared to Columbia. You'll notice that Columbia ranks a lower cost of living, a big part due to cheaper housing costs. I went to the University of South Carolina, and I can tell you from living there that Columbia is fairly spread out. The flat land lends well to ease of access, and railroads are more of an issue than geographic terrain. Two major nearby cities are Charlotte, North Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. Charlotte is about 90 minutes away up Interstate 85, and Atlanta is 2.5 hours down Interstate 85. In this first picture, you can see that Greenville ranks as a much lower cost of living than Charlotte. Homes in Charlotte have a significantly higher cost than Greenville, and I've helped people who began their search in Charlotte to find a home in our area due to lower cost of the home and cost of living. You can also find more space for your dollars in the Upstate than in Charlotte, where the city has become the whole county. In this next picture, you'll see the cost of living in Atlanta is even higher than Charlotte. giving it an even bigger gap compared to Greenville. Atlanta's congestion and sprawl have led to high home prices and much higher transportation costs. Only food and the miscellaneous category show as lower costs when living in Atlanta versus Greenville. When you're looking at Greenville in the Upstate, the biggest factor swinging costs of living in different areas is going to be home prices, taxes, and the cost of transportation. You will find more home for your dollar as you move out away from downtown Greenville. If your work brings you to downtown, then you may not want to go too far away since it would cost you in time and transportation. However, if you work remotely or retired or have a job further out from Greenville, then living away from downtown could be a cost-effective way to have more home and property. For example, the same home in Fountain Inn is going to be $100,000 to several $100,000 less expensive than living in downtown Greenville. If property is what you're looking for, you'll be able to get acreage living outside the city. Compared to many areas of the country, you won't have to go far to get some land to live on. Moving out to Fountain Inn, Piedmont, Easley, Travelers Rest, or Greer will keep you within 30 to 45 minutes of downtown Greenville and give you access to homes with room for anything from go-karts to horses, or just enough space to not have to see your neighbors. Cost of living is a big reason people are moving to the upstate of South Carolina. Despite lots of recent growth, the Greenville area continues to offer value for those looking for a change. Be sure to check out some of my other videos to learn more about what you'll find in Greenville, such as sights to see, the weather, access to entertainment, and more. If there's something you'd like to see more about, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.